welcome to the dating meetups in the nonpartisan Red Pill men's group. What we're going to do is we're going to do a study. We're doing a study of a book by Rollo Tomasi called The Rational Male. And today we're on a section in plate theory about scarcity and abundance. And so what I'll do is I'll start with just going through the book. I'll put the book up on the screen and then we can read it together. Then after that, we'll open it up to discussion, and we'll be able to talk about all those issues, even if they're not brought up, about um, having a mindset of sexual abundance so that we don't find ourselves in states of sexual scarcity as we often do. So, still letting people in here. Let me go ahead and okay, so before I start though, if you watching this on Facebook and you want to join or to register for our future events, just go to tinyurl.com/redpillmen and you can register for our monthly meetings. We're doing this book study very slowly, going through these discussions, and then we're recording it and it's live on Facebook. So even though, and what I'd like, if you have your camera, I'd like to see if you want to participate. Um, when we speak, if you can turn on your camera. If not, that's okay. And then what I do is I split it up. I put it into 30-minute blocks. We're on a internet radio station in Oregon, and then I post it out in 30-minute blocks. And so why don't I just share just to let you know. So after I'm done, let's see, so, right. Thank you, Michael. So, and we'll just get started and we'll go through this. So we'll just go through and read this chapter, and then we'll just open it for discussion, and you just raise your hand or just speak up. So, and then I'll also make some comments, because on this. So at the same time. So plate theory is for this. We're on scarcity and abundance. First sentence. Plate theory is for your benefit, not women's. And that's, I guess, women have their own plate theory. Women spin plates, make no doubt about it. And it's for their benefit as well. But here, I guess what he's trying to say is that plate theory is not for women's benefit, but for your benefit. And that might sound harsh, but it's a method intended to increase your value as a commodity that works on two levels. First, the external, by practicing honest, non-exclusive dating, you communicate to your prospective plates that you are in demand. I've gone so far as to tell men to foster this sense of by never answering the phone from Friday to Sunday evening, even when they have no other plans. So this is, yeah, I break this rule all the time, but this is to communicate, because women will call you on the weekends to see what you're doing. The perception that your attention is sought after increases its value. It's when men are too eager to get with women that their attention becomes worthless and interest levels decline. Nothing serves a man better than having 3 or 4 women competing for his exclusive attention and fostering in them that feminine competitive anxiety in as subtle and covert a way as possible. Okay. Make no mistake, it's a real art that women are all too familiar with themselves in their own intergender dealings. Women are natural plate theorists. They simply use their varying degrees of physical attractiveness to line their plates up. Secondly, plate theories is for a man's own internal benefit. It's much easier for a man not to give a shit if he truly doesn't give a shit. It's far easier to deal with women on the basis of indifference when you have a subconscious knowledge that there are at least 3 other women who would be happy to have your attention if one plays games with you. And that's true. I've women come and go. can be with them for a year, you can be with 2 years, and then they're gone. Imagine if you were in an exclusive relationship with each of these women and they leave at various times. Rather have 4 or 5, and then if one drops, you've got 3 other, you can build that fourth one back, you can get another fourth one. You know. So the reason men fail most shit tests women give them is because they subconsciously telegraph too much interest in a single woman. Essentially, a shit test is used by women to determine one or a combination of these factors. So confidence, first and foremost. Options, is this guy really into me because I'm special, or am I his only option? Security, is this guy capable of providing me with long-term security? So these shit tests that women play on us, they just test us, questions, or they're trying to find out things about us. So okay. By practicing plate theory, your mental attitude will be such, or should be such, that you will pass most shit tests based simply on this practice. Abundance thinking is the root of plate theory. A lot has been written about approaching women and ruling life in general from a position of abundance. People often make the mistake of assuming that having a wide variety of choices tends to cheapen the commodity, and to a degree, this is accurate. But it also allows for a better learned awareness of which choice amongst the pool is common and as which is of higher value. But Rolo, I'm so busy that I have no choice but to ignore and postpone. They sense it and seek me out. I worry that I'll create crazies. My weekends are jammed. At what point do we stop? Yeah, that's a good question. But I think what happens is that you're going to start going up the ladder. Start going up the ladder. You're going to find a new one, and you're eventually going to have to replace an old one, and just keep trying to climb the ladder until you meet the woman that you actually want, if that's what you want. This is the best problem you can have. You've successfully flipped the script. You've gotten to a point where it becomes instinctive and your plates actively seek your attention. By default, you're creating value by scarcity. So the scarcity of your time creates value, just like women have been trying to create sexual scarcity for men to push up the price of sex. And they do this collectively, and that's something we can talk about afterwards. At what point do you stop? How old are you? If you're under 30, stay in the game. If you're over 30, stay in the game, but cool things off occasionally. The only time a man should even contemplate monogamy is after experiencing abundance. If you are inundated with women occupying your weekends, consider hooking up with a proven plate on a Thursday evening and reserve your weekends for other pursuits. I don't know what he means by that, but I usually preserve my weekends for women who have either demonstrated interest. Sometimes I meet new women because it's convenient, and sometimes, I meet women during the week, but certainly they may want a Saturday night here and there. And you certainly don't want to spend a lot of money on women you just meet who haven't demonstrated interest in you. So also, don't be afraid to clear your schedule to hang out with friends or do other things that interest you. Remember, scarcity increases value. Too many guys think that plate spinning is something that needs a constant effort. It doesn't. In fact, applying yourself equally across all your active plates only pushes you close to settling for one or two. So you've got all these women pursuing you, and you're going to be looking at the best one. Let's see. Let's make sure everybody mutes so that we don't get the sound in there. Most guys think that they have to continually spin their plates. You don't. If you're doing it correctly, they'll spin themselves. They'll call you. The anxiety is that if you don't keep applying attention to any one plate, she'll lose interest and fall off. Sometimes this is the case, and you have to be prepared to accept it. Some plates have to break in order to spin more, and that's okay. More often than not, however, your scarcity will create value and mystique. Thus, they will pursue you for their affirmation. So basically, women are going to be calling you. Women are going to be looking for you. Women are going to be looking to hook up for you. That's the goal. That's what you want. Play theory, of course, can be a means to a long-term relationship, but bear in mind that it's essential for you to practice it long enough and effectively enough to determine what a quality woman means to you and how to recognize her. As with most game skills, the uninitiated will use them to some degree of success up to a point that he finds his idealized girl of his dreams and launch into a self-destructive long-term relationship because of his idealization was based on juvenile impressions rather than a mature understanding of what a quality woman's characteristics are. This is due to a lack of concrete experience. I'm going through that sort of now and finding that some women are good, some women not so good. And still, I haven't found for sure. And it's not a matter of good women versus bad women here. It's just, what are you looking for? And does that woman have those qualities? And is she going to abuse you or exploit you, take advantage of you? You got to figure that out. That's a big risk. So spin plates for as long as possible, because once you do commit to a long-term relationship, even with the tightest of game, you will lose a measure of competitive anxiety that made your attentions valuable to any one woman. All of your plates fall off, and the girl you're engaged in and long-distance relationship with gets too comfortable. This is the root of why men find that women they had hot, sweaty monkey sex with when they were dating becomes more sexually reserved a few months after they're a couple. The competitive anxiety is relieved, and therefore sexual frequency and quality is no longer a providing trait for her. That's not to say there aren't methods to stoke this anxiety in a long-term relationship, but by comparison to being single, the frame of the relationship doesn't have to be contested when she and you understand that she is your only source of intimacy and sex. To me, that's a big deal. A woman wants to make her my only source of intimacy and affection. That's a lot of power I'm handing over to her. And competition anxiety, she has less desire for us because women want what other women want. And if other women want you, they want you. But if you don't have that competition anxiety, then where's that desire? In a committed relationship, you simply cannot spin plates. All right. So that's it, guys. Thank you, Robert. Anybody want to jump in? Anybody want to comment on any of what was said so far or what was in the book there?
I'll add something, Richard.
Okay, who is this?
Rafael,
Okay, Raphael. Do you have your camera? Can you turn your camera on?
my camera's on. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find you here. Raphael, here you are. Okay. All right, there you are, Raphael.
I've been single all my life, and I've been collecting bits and pieces here and there about relationships. And one big one that I found out is that I read somewhere that most couples meet at work, like 60%
Hmm.
meet at work.
Hmm. I'm tending to think that work is a no sex zone. More and more, work is becoming a no sex zone.
Well, you got to be careful. Try not to kiss the woman sitting across the desk from you.
Yeah.
Go to the next floor up or one down or next building over.
Yeah.
But it's still involved in work somehow.
Oh. They're saying that
So,
most people, a lot of people are meeting online nowadays.
Yeah, but you still have, like, you go to the city buildings, county buildings, it's cubicles full of women, the
Yeah,
whole floor.
yeah. You can get
You're
yourself
still, they're still gonna see them off and on at the elevators, some of these bank buildings, you know. I'm a tradesman, so I was with guys all the time, so I couldn't figure that out.
yeah.
I used to
Well,
work with carpenters, electricians, cement fixers, and we didn't have any women around.
yeah, yeah,
And these guys in the offices, wow,
yeah,
every day.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
it and the other thing I heard, one of the news reporters a while back, she did a survey on the SoCal area, and she found out that more couples meet in Long Beach, the city of Long Beach.
hmm. Well, I have a couple of girlfriend. I have a girlfriend in Long Beach, so maybe it's true. Uh, yeah, I've been meeting women online, and the key to that is having a good profile and a good picture,
I
particularly
heard, I
picture.
heard more and more.
Yeah,
That's what I hear. I haven't had much luck online, and I've paid to get my profile done, and
uh,
I haven't had any
any success on that?
any success. But I heard other guys do.
Right.
Some guys do.
Steve, you want to chime in?
this is new to me. So, it seems like, I don't know. It sounds like it's so easy to have all these women begging for your attention. It's not like that for me, dude. So I'm open to any like you know
Yeah.
any input because I've had no success online. A
Hmm.
bunch of crazies. Not a big fan of going to bars, but I will because I'm not going to sit home. But you know, I think as the other gentleman said, the workplace. I mean, it depends on your workplace, and Richard, as you said, that could be kind of a red zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if things don't work out, you could have a problem.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I just joined this whole meetup thing, so I didn't
I want
read
to
this
add.
book,
I want to add to that,
but
Steve. I want to add to that, Steve. If you go to bars during the week, you have a better chance. Stay away on weekends. On weekends, stay away from there.
Mm.
If you can get out during
well,
the week, it's a whole different crowd
You know,
at bars.
Steve, one thing I'm not an expert at is whether a man is good looking or not. I look at you, I think maybe you are good looking, but frankly, I'm not the judge of that. I can't really judge that, but you don't look bad looking. So you've,
I appreciate what you're saying. I think it's uh I'm recently out of like a bad relationship. I mean, it was bad. So it takes me a while to come out of that. I mean, I can, meet women.
mm,
Um, right now I'm in the early stages, and I'm trying to like to not come off as some kind of desperado. Like for me, the excerpts that you read from this book, which I did order, by the way, because I figure, I could benefit from it. Um, talked about, a lot of long-term relationships. That's always been my thing, one after another, one after another. And for whatever reason, it doesn't work out,
mm,
and my one buddy says to me, he goes, you know how to pick them, he tells me. Pick the wrong way.
yeah. Well,
So, I mean, I'm just trying to, I wanted to hear this discussion because I'm trying to foster any improvement, you
mhm.
know.
Well, one thing that is good is that by buying the book and starting to study the red pill, which is simply evolutionary psychology and behavioralism and males' experience of how women actually are, you will change. You will learn. It's going to be painful.
It's rough going. Actually, I have one of the interjects. There's like this little chat thing. So somebody that was very astute said they recommend not going out until you have mojo because women can smell it, and it's true. It is so true. It happened last night. I went out because I'm not going to sit home, and because women don't come knocking on my door, you
Right.
know. So, but whoever that gentleman was, thank you. That was a very astute comment, and but I also, on the other hand, to that, I think I'd rather go out and make the mistakes
Hmm.
and learn rather than sit home listen, I go solo because I'm 64 years old.
Hmm.
Okay, all my friends are married couples, and I don't need a wingman or anything. So but that can also be another challenge.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes you look kind of like desperado.
Yeah, yeah, and that can be problematic. I can understand that. One thing I might say to guys sometimes, and you may already know this, but rather that a lot of it is how you present yourself. I watched these manosphere videos, and this bouncer one I watched just a couple of days ago, and he said there were three things that the women look for. You have a new haircut, nice clothes. There was another thing, but sometimes if you focus on presentation or what the women will be more likely to gravitate towards you. So that's
Mhm.
probably more expensive, more not expensive, but more something that men may not realize because they often think it's about having the guts to go up and talk to a woman.
That's
And
part of it.
yeah,
That's
but
part of it.
right. But I think the presentation, don't neglect that because that's what's going to get them attracted to you. And part of the thing about reading about the red pill and understanding about how women are, it changes you. It changes your perspective of them. It changes, like for instance, looking for a long-term relationship. You shouldn't be smelling good. That's right, Michael. You
Yeah,
shouldn't,
yeah.
but you shouldn't be let's see, looking for a long-term relationship. You're a man, right? The moment you start looking for a long-term relationship, she sees you as she see when you like for instance, you tell a woman you love her, what does she think? I must be the best he can get, you know? The women should pursue you for the long-term relationship. You're a man, you should be pursuing women. Um, and it's a woman who's looking to lock us down, right? Because they're expecting us to pay for a bunch of shit. We are the prize. That's another thing we talked about. We are the prize, right? Why? Because we're the guys with the money, right? That's basically, and not that I'm saying it should be that way or that it has to be that way. I'm just saying women think their ass is the prize. You go out chasing women, and sometimes I want to say, okay, so I have a lot of dates. I'm having a lot of sex. I'm having sex every day. Um, but, but it's not with the women that I would want for a long-term relationship. Yeah, they're all in competition with one another. It gives me a lot of confidence. I'm not necessarily lonely, but I'm not walking down the street with a woman who I'm proud of, right? So, so that's, I think, where the problem comes in. I think that we have to realize that women are hypergamous. They date up, both in looks and sexual. We have to date down. As a result, we have to date down. We have to date the women who earn less than us, women who are less attractive than we are. So we're going to have to date down anyway. So, and sometimes we have this mindset that, oh, I don't want to do that because that would hurt a woman. And you know what? She's using you. She wants a lot of things. Don't worry about that. When a woman wants a fuck boy, she'll get a fuck boy. You know, I've sort of just have accepted and embraced my role as because this is what I've been all my life, really, not without realizing it, because I didn't have money, still don't have money. So what am I good for? I'm only, luckily, I'm good for that one thing, you know? So they're looking for good looking guys for that. And then, but the point is, you know, like Raphael, I'm sure that you got responses, you got some matches, but you didn't like the women. And then, of course, the women they're so freaking demanding, you know? And yeah, sometimes going out of the country is an option, right? To find a better woman. You're looking for a better woman. But if you get yourself locked into one LTR after another, it's going to be a roller coaster ride with a breakup and a breakup and a breakup. You know,
That's how it is. It
yeah,
sucks.
yeah. And they're taking it, oftentimes, you know, you're the one getting ripped off, right? So, yeah. So, yeah, so learning about the red pill will change you.
Different
It-
ways, you know,
yeah,
you get ripped off in different ways, but
yeah.
you know,
Well, you shrug that off, but for me, that's really a travesty. But, you know, it would change you. The red pill would change you. You have a different attitude towards women, right? You know they're not sugar and spice and everything nice. You know there's
they're
secret,
they're fucking vicious,
right?
vicious beasts, man.
They
They
are.
are.
And there's a
Guys are straightforward. Feed me, fuck me, don't break my balls. I'll take a bull for you. Women are like the most subversive. And again, maybe I just have picked bad ones because, you know,
no, you haven't.
but I haven't.
No, you haven't.
My friends would disagree with you.
Yeah. Well, maybe what you've done is you hooked up with you got yourself into a committed exclusive relationship with them too early. And
Yeah,
they'll pressure you for that. But once you do it, then they'll lose interest sometimes.
that's exactly what happened in my last relationship.
Mhm.
Well, I want a commitment. I want to commit. I gave her commitment, moved in, everything changed.
Yeah.
Like immediately. I was like, you know,
If
because
you
I
need
went in with good intention. So again, my whole purpose is, yeah, I want to get into their psychology
hmm Yeah.
so I can progress.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you
You know,
need to do that because it's painful for a number of reasons. Oh, there you go, Michael. I'll be right with you. It's painful for a number of reasons because one, you're looking at how stupid you were, how you ignorant you,
how
how stupid we were, how we didn't know
oh
anything.
oh
Right. That's
yeah, I feel
painful in
like a
itself.
dunce,
Right.
like a
And,
dunce.
and then you're learning about, and yeah, but if you go through that, you learn your attitude would change, your presentation would change, the way you look may even change, and you may change the way you look. Those things will make a big difference.
Vladimir Putin is a dictator, a war criminal, a murderer responsible for slaughtering thousands of Ukrainian civilians and causing death and destruction around the world. He's silenced dissent in his country, erased people from history, poisoned journalists, and imprisoned opponents. Every American president from Harry Truman to Barack Obama and Joe Biden have stood up against Soviet and Russian dictators. Every American president except one.
I think Putin's been a very strong leader for Russia. I think in terms of leadership, he's getting an A.
As president, Donald Trump shared our vital security secrets with Russia. Even after leaving office, Trump, sitting in Mar-a-Lago with stolen American intelligence files, had long, secret calls with Putin. What are they talking about? What is he giving Putin? What secrets has he shared? What has he promised the Russian dictator?
Do you have a relationship with Vladimir Putin, a conversational relationship?
I do have a relationship.
Trump puts Russia first, not America. He's not just wrong, he's dangerous. Donald Trump won't stand up to Vladimir Putin, so it's up to all of us to stand up to Donald Trump.